Shop the Sherwin-Williams Labor Day sale and get 35% off paints and stains August 22nd through September 4th. With prices starting at $31.84, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your interior or exterior, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store or shop the sale online. Delivery available on qualifying orders. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
There's a problem with the lens. You've got to take it off, clean it off. Take time to look at the dirt, where'd it come from, clean it off. Take time to find out why you hide. Take time to find out why you fight. Take time to recognize how you have responded to your anxiety and to your fear. How do you respond? Welcome to Black Girl from Eugene. I'm your host, Aisha Elliott, where each week I give personal advice to help navigate thoughtful vulnerability, prompts for necessary introspection that surely will help align your intention to your impact. Welcome. Welcome to Black Girl from Eugene. Yes, thank you so much for being here yet another week. We are in August of 2025. Let me say, I don't do a lot of advertising of my podcast. I don't actually do a lot of marketing because I have a very difficult relationship with marketing and recognizing that I do need, like everyone else needs, a capitalistic revenue in order to survive in this world. So I do want to say thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon, because the $5, the $10 that you do send in does help keep this podcast rolling and remind me that people are out there listening and out there actually getting something from the words that I'm sending out into over the airwaves. I don't see a lot of you, and I don't know that you are there, to be honest. I'm going to keep doing what I do because I love doing it. And the Patreon tells me that you're there. So I really appreciate you and all of you who have maintained your donation in times that are extremely hard, times where $5 could make a difference in your life. And the fact that you send me $5 is remarkable to me. So thank you, everyone who are my Patreon followers, and anyone who wants to become a Patreon. You can find me the Black Girl from Eugene _1. Yeah, basically it just keeps this little podcast going. So moving on, I just want to talk about mindset right now as the United States falls into tyranny and to fascism at an alarming rate. And as people who can are leaving the country, people who cannot are trying to find community to buckle down, people who are fighting to find ways to mitigate what's going to be happening and what is already happening to the funding for families and children that are needing it just to make their ends meet or just to get to school. And let's not forget that even the schools are not able to keep up with this fascist regime in terms of allowing students to have and exercise their biggest potentials in school. I don't think we should underestimate how much the fear of anticipation or even just not knowing what comes next, the ignorance of how systems work and how systems are at play. You're going to just walk into your doctor's office and recognize that your insurance doesn't work anymore. You're just going to get a letter that says we cannot cover your treatment anymore. And people generally don't know how that happened, right? And I know it seems crazy when it's so huge in our eyes, but this is how things happen when people are uninformed. They just don't know where it comes from. I mean, let's not pretend like most of you did not understand how the government worked before the government was being taken over. before the government was falling. And I'm talking about, post Obama. I don't think most people understood how the Congress worked and that Congress meant the House of Representatives and the Senate. Like it wasn't just one thing, right? There was over 400 people who were responsible, didn't know how an executive order was supposed to work, or that even to this day, I was on Instagram the other day and I said, the military is failing us. And somebody said, oh, he's commander in chief. The military is his. No, no, that's not how that works, actually. The military has a constitutional right to defend the Constitution, not the executive officer. You see what I'm saying? So it's those things that we don't know how it works, and so they can do whatever they want while we stand by going, "What are they doing?" And I don't know what to say anymore. As a Black woman, I have done and endured and shared and bounced back from the ongoing, as I speak, tyranny of white supremacy. I try to help people who are willing to face their own reflections, to deconstruct the lies of that practice, of that cultural norm. I do it to this day as, a relational leadership coach. I work with executives and leaders of organizations to try to see their employees as people and transform their systems into systems that do not create barriers, but create opportunity and are more reflective of practices that their staff actually experience rather than just practices that protect them from liability. You can do both. And I do that, and I do it every day. I'll continue to do that. And also, as a Black woman who is raising children, you know, there's such a deep, deep, deep disappointment in the willingness for people around me, not irregardless, regardless. I love the word irregardless because it doesn't mean anything, but regardless of race and status, it's such a deep disappointment for me to see the inaction or just how many people I'm surrounded by that freeze instead of fight. There's no judgment. Disappointment is not a judgment from me. It's a realization that I, as a person, as me, I think I definitely do not give my sense of courage enough credit. Most of my life, I would say, that I have always wanted others to feel included, to feel seen. And I didn't actually need it to come, I didn't need it as much. I felt like I didn't need it as much. But I think the most feeling like I was carrying something for others voluntarily, to be honest, thinking that that's what they wanted. Now, in my big age, recognizing that the level of hero that I tried to live up to was damaging for me in lots of ways and damaging for others in lots of ways. And I just sometimes look at people wondering, do you not smell the smoke? Why is it that people like the differences in the human psyche, the fight, freeze, fawn, all of those responses, right, are real for everybody. It doesn't mean that because I'm a fighter that I can't be a fawner. And it doesn't mean that someone who freezes can't eventually fight. But our natural tendencies are so vast. But it's scary to watch when the writing's on the wall, how long it takes for people to read. More to that, the courage it takes to change, Even if you stayed, even if you do what you do now, if you go and I'm going to stay in my place, I'm going to fight as hard as I can, or I'm going to create something for the community, or I'm going to be that person. That's amazing. It's admirable. And also, do we have to continue to live our lives in the response, in the like defense of tyranny? Do we recognize, I guess the better question is do you recognize when people around you have gone too far, are saying something that we have dismissed as, oh, they're just old, oh, they're just from this place, or oh, that's just the way the culture is, oh, that's just when we know what they said was based in oppression, was based in control, was based in superiority. And we dismissed it over and over and over again. I mean, I have family members that still go to country fair, and I'm disgusted by that. I am, and they know it. They know it. I have friends that go to country fair. I'm disgusted by that. There's definitely a level of mistrust or distrust, I would say, rather, I'd say, when the level of comfort is more important than shifting the narrative to something less oppressive. And I'm just saying less oppressive. I'm not even saying no oppression. Like just to talk to someone to make something less oppressive is too much for their routine, for their comfort, for the seriousness it means to hold someone accountable for their action. The way that we wiggle out of the discomfort of just holding someone accountable is how we got here. I don't think it required something bigger than that, you know? Yes, of course, I'm calling out everybody who thinks that they can just go, oh, well, we don't have to make it such a big deal until it is a big deal. And you're not connecting to the dots back to when it could have been nipped. Those little suggestions, those little things that just happened that one time, and you cannot tell me how it got cut out so that it would never happen again. It just sort of disappeared, or it just sort of got quieter, or it just sort of transformed. What is around stays around, right? What you see has always been here. That's everywhere. So we have to stop kidding ourselves in these difficult conversations. And when we hear or see something that we don't like, we cannot continue to act like it didn't just happen because we are uncomfortable with facing the truth that your boyfriend's a bigot, or that your brother is willing to roll over, or that your teacher only is there for work, to maintain, their insurance. There is no connection to your growth. There is no connection really to the community when that is the bottom line. You're not connecting when it's a lie that you are dancing around the circle to. Everyone for themselves. High individualism. When you love your community, and when you love your partner, and when you love your children, you find a way to help them be accountable. When you love someone, it shows up in changed behavior, not in the niceties of not making other people uncomfortable. Niceness is horrific, in my opinion. Niceness belongs in customer service. It's diplomacy. It's surface. It preserves an appearance, right? And the appearance may not even be an accurate appearance. It may not even be an authentic appearance. Most likely it's not one when you're dealing with niceness. Kindness and connection has alignment, has authenticity. there's a sense of where you are and where you begin and where you end. There's a boundary. There's some uncomfortability, right? There's respect for a truth. I always, in any of my practices, in any of my talks, in any of my coaching that I do, I don't like to jump into the coaching until I deal with the person, because the lens in which you are using to see is generally the problem. Your past that you have not come to grips with, your vulnerability that you avoid, your practice of avoidance in order to maintain a falsehood of balance, a niceness. These are why these mistakes in the existence of our community, these are why the morality is questionable. While morals can be questioned at this point, it's why we're not aligned. It's why we can have debates around the value of a child's life based on some religious or ethnic superiority. There's a problem. There's a problem with the lens. You've got to take it off, clean it off, take time to look at the dirt, where'd it come from, clean it off, take time to find out why you hide, take time to find out why you fight, take time to recognize how you've responded to your anxiety and to your fear. How do you respond? I have some sort of personal guilt, and I fight with it because I'm raising children. And I think I've mentioned lots of times that I have post-traumatic responses that I practice regulating. And generally, they're very, very, very controlled and very, very minute. Nothing that directs my day to day ever, actually. But with me, with the way that I see today's times, the way that I see what's happening in our life, in our world right now, I feel like if you can't fight or at least be building a better, progressive, less capitalistic future, then get out of the way. Stop pontificating things that don't matter right now. No, we're not, our children are not the children of Gaza, but they are. Our education system in the United States is gone. It has been dying for years. It's taking its last breath. Our comfort with violence is getting stronger and stronger daily. Our comfort with discussing illegal matters, illegal practices are becoming an expectation. And the thing is those are people who just want to go back to the way it was, don't recognize that enslavement was legal, right? Child marriage is still legal in too many states. We have to question what was, and we have to imagine what could be. I think about taxes. Living somewhere with high taxes shouldn't really bother you if you actually receive the services the taxes are supposed to bring you. People, places around the world who have, and I'm air quoting, high taxes, have high quality of life. Their taxes are going towards quality of life. Their school systems are not suffering. Their medical services are not suffering. Their access to clean water and air and green parks is not suffering. Access to books and to theater and to art is not suffering. Their roads are not broken up. Their houses are not empty. Their taxes are being used. We have gotten too comfortable with normalizing illegal behavior and just being like, hey, look, as long as I got mine, I guess we're good. I just want us to know. I mean, I know we're getting far into this now. 8 months in, the fascism is here. But like, if we don't look at our lens and we don't look at our practices, our day-to-day lies we tell ourselves to feel comfortable, I don't know where the next step goes. Because you have to learn from your past in order to prevent it in the future. You have to actually learn from it, right? And we are not demonstrating any kind of learning, right? Everyone's, oh, we need to get into some good trouble. What's the next step? What's the next step? If you're not on to the Mom Donnie effect, what's the next step? Because that is the next step. Communities it should be across the country. Our community should not, in one place, have food, and another place can't find blankets, can't find food. Across the street in America, you know, I'm not someone to be like, oh, in America, although I just said that. I think it's gross. I've traveled other places, I've lived in other countries. It makes me sad what we have put up with in America. And I think it's like just simply what we don't know and what we settle for. And I think it's reflective in what we settle for in our everyday lives. I think it's pretty reflective of our knowledge base, our ability to connect to each other and understand how we are always connected to each other, how niceness can kill, and how kindness can grow, how discomfort is a part of evolution. Discomfort is a part of evolution. I'm going to say it one more time. Discomfort is a part of evolution. You have to let go. You have to let go. What you knew to be true, if it is not about who you are as a person, it's no longer really valid. And you need to see, how do you know yourself as a person? What are your values? And do you live within them? No, I don't judge people if they stay in a place that's not healthy for them. They're struggling with their values. They're struggling with their strength to live within their values. And that's a very human condition. And I hope that one day the discomfort gets enough that evolution happens, not destruction, not self destruction. But be clear about who you want to be in this world, who is watching you if you don't know, right? You are connected to everything, whether you choose or not choose. You're not choosing is just the elongation. It's not the right word for that. But like, the perpetuation of an ignorance that won't have you move to any kind of evolution. And if that is your choice, then please step off the field. Get to the sidelines, create your world, do your thing. But for everyone else, hold each other in this very deep, very intimate conversation. And when I say hold each other, I'm just saying give some space for people to be out of pocket while they're trying to change their practice into something progressive and inclusive and anti-exclusive, exclusionary, right? We're not going to get it right 100% of the time, but we have to allow for people to show up so that they can grow. They're showing up, but if you're going to show up, you have to be prepared to let go of what you thought to be true. It's a new day. It's not becoming. We're not becoming a fascist state. We're not becoming authoritarian state. We are here and in it. So anyway, they're just more and more and more. This conversation is for all human beings. We have a right to be pissed. So many reasons. So many reasons. All of us have different reasons and the same reasons to be pissed. But when we get him out of the office and we get the whole group of them out of power, who are we? Who are we? I don't think trying to hold on to capitalism and keeping money in the system is the right way to go. I think we've seen that. We need to come up with real rules around maintaining the power within the people. Our public servants need to remain public servants, not power hungry, money hoarding whores. That's not what we need. We need to demand a system that is reflective of our reality. So I really, really want to talk to you guys about moving abroad and living elsewhere. I've done it before and I'll do it again, and I'm doing it now. And no matter where I go, I'm always Black girl from Eugene. No matter where I go, there it is. And we can practice day in and day out what we did a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It just doesn't fit anymore. And it's okay if we don't exactly know, as long as we are remaining moving forward. And I know, as much as I want to talk to you guys about the craziness it takes to move out of this country, I also recognize how the majority of my folks and my people can't and aren't, or just won't. But there's parts about this that I think a lot of us just don't know it to be true. How it doesn't take a lot of money, how every country has what you need, how you don't need to be the fear mongering that we have learned about other cultures and countries are mostly a lie. I want to talk to you guys about it, but sometimes it feels out of place with the levels of anxiety and the truth about our changing day to day in the United States. But if you want to hear about it, I'll tell you about it, because I recognize that a lot of people don't know that we fantasize about living across a border, and people demonize living in other places. And I think you could probably ask most people who have gone for some notable time, anything over 3 to 6 months, will tell you that what you know about going abroad or moving abroad or cultural norms of other places, or the accessibility of other places, or the education of other places, you probably don't understand. It's not what you think it is. Anyway, I don't know what to tell you. There's a lot going on in the world, and I think about you all the time. Think about my community, I think about my family, I think about our society. I just hope that we recognize that one person at a time can change an entire nation. With much love, it's Black Girl from Eugene, and I'm out. Thank you for listening to Black Girl from Eugene. Please subscribe, rate our show, and give a comment. Anything that you have to say and to contribute is welcomed and just helps the podcast grow. We really hope to see you each week. And until then, stay strong, stay connected, and we love you.